Hello everyone, welcome back to another game review. Today we'll be reviewing SIFU, an action beat 'em up game from the studio of Slow Clap. The game blends martial arts mastery with a unique twist of roguelike mechanics. It is a very challenging game. It's still very rewarding once you complete those challenges. So in this game you're basically put into the shoes of a young kung fu student. He's on a path of revenge to hunt down 5 assassins that killed his family right in front of him. The twist on this game though is every time you die you age. You're resurrected. You don't just repeat the game. You do have rings, those resurrect you, and every 10 years a ring breaks. Now, with each 10 years and a ring breaking, you gain more damage, but you lose your health. And eventually, you will end up dying from old age. This mechanic makes you learn to be patient, makes you learn that button mashing isn't the way to this game. It's a hand-to-hand combat game. It mixes punches, kicks, dodges, and blocks. And the most important part in this game, from what I can tell you, is blocking is very important. You can't just randomly press block, you have to time your blockings. The more you learn how to be patient, the more you learn how to time your blocks, your kicks, your punches, the more you succeed in this game. That is the steep learning curve of this game. It adds a depth to the combat system, so you're not just button mashing, and from every opponent you'll see a difference. Some opponents are slow, some opponents are fast, some opponents damage you very heavily, some opponents are like goons, they don't actually damage that much, some are bosses, so and each of them have a different move set, so every opponent has a different pattern. The more you focus on these patterns, the more you can easily dodge certain attacks, the faster and easier defeating an enemy becomes. Now, for your aging, if you've died once, you'll age 1 year. If you've died twice, you'll age 2 years. At some point, you may have died 4 times, so you die you age 4 extra years. You start the game by age 20. For example, I ended up with over 40 deaths, or 40 years, sorry, not 40 deaths. I was 40 years of age by the end of game. So the game is difficult, it's not for everyone. This is my first time playing a game of this type, so I found it a bit challenging at the beginning. But with every few fights and every few goons I fought, I learned more towards the timing. I've learned to block, I've learned to attack at the right times, and this is the challenging part of the game. But defeating those people, defeating those bosses, does let you get that feel of accomplishment. For example, in this fight, we are fighting the guy who just cut my throat at the beginning of the game. His name is Fajar, so he is one of the 5 assassins we are aiming to like kill and get vengeance from. You're not only you're you're not only looking for vengeance, sometimes you may decide to spare the person. You do get these options down the game, not for the first fight though. So the game lets you create your own choices. The game lets you decide how you want it to end. So while the story is straightforward and focuses on revenge, there isn't much of a character development other than, of course, your aging and you going through the characters. It feels more significant when you reach the end, as you then get to have basically mastered a few skills. You get to unlock a whole different move set than the initial one you get when you start the game. The art in this game is very immersive, the sound is very clear, it lets you feel like you're in the game. As I said, the game has a steep learning curve, but that doesn't mean the game is hard. Some people find these challenging games to be self-fulfilling at the end. So, if you like martial arts, you're a fan of combat, you're a fan of these types of games, and a fan of a challenge, I think SIFU is the game for you. if you don't want to have the patience and you're not gonna try to take your time and learn this game step by step, then one sitting will not do this game justice.
I have spent 8 long years.
And here you're finally killing the first of the 5 assassins, and you got your revenge. Thank you all for watching this review, and see you in the next one.